So the concept art book for No Way Home dropped like a week ago or something, and I've just been busy with other content, but we're finally getting to it. I've just been kind of like taking time in between videos to compile the most like interesting pieces of concept art to go over for the video. Seemingly there's a lot of stuff in that book though. But yeah, today we're going to talk about the more interesting and important pieces of concept art from the book, and as well we have some quotes to go over too. So let's start with the quotes from Andrew. He said in the book, "The eyes on mine are definitely the best. I would say just practically, my suit is the best because I have zippers on my wrists so I can get my hands out, but none of the suits are that much fun to wear." So this is interesting. He's obviously, talking about the suits and stuff, and I agree. I think the big bug eyes are cool looking. I feel like there could be like a really perfect medium between Tom's and Andrew's lenses. To be honest, I would prefer Andrew's just cause like I don't know, I like the giant look and like how cool it looks. The size, shape, and everything about it is just perfect. He does think though practically, like just as an actor, his suit is the best, and like as far as like just using the suit, actually just being on set and stuff like that, I would say he has top 2 best Spider-Man suits right now. It's between TASM 2 and End of No Way Home suit. They are both really good looking in my opinion, and better than Raimi, I will say that. Then he talks about by catching MJ, he got to make up for a terrible tragedy that he tried to avoid in his world. If he hadn't been in Peter 1's world, then it's possible MJ may have met the same fate as Gwen. Dude, when I saw Andrew die for MJ, I was like, holy fuck, no way, dude. And then like the way like he looked at her, it was just so like kind of gut-wrenching, but also it felt like closure. Like it was definitely like a great redemption arc for Andrew. So yeah, those are some cool quotes from Andrew in the No Way Home concept art book. Now let's go over to the actual concept art. Let's start off with this. So this is actually really cool and kind of insane, low-key. Just imagine we actually got a scene like this where like he had to fight all 5 of these guys. That would have been really cool. But also like Tom's Spider-Man, I feel is not prepared for that yet, and like I love his Spider-Man, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I think Andrew and Toby could handle it where they are in their careers because they're more experienced just naturally. But Tom could definitely use at least one more movie completely on his own, no help from anybody, like actually fighting the villain and stuff like that. Before like the final battle, that doesn't matter if like for example Daredevil was to come and help or whatever, that would be like completely fine. But I feel like the fights themselves should take place with just the villain and Spider-Man. But yeah, anyways, this whole concept art piece right here is super dope. I wish this would have happened, but it is what it is. Eventually, hopefully one day we'll actually get something like this in the MCU in the future. Now the next one is actually the final version of the No Way Home suit, or the end one I should say, and there's some interesting kind of hard to read text on the side which reads, "The blue areas are a Steve Ditko inspired version where the blue is visible on the edges and the material is mostly black." And if you didn't know, this was a thing in the comics where Spider-Man, like in the early comics, I don't know like how they're doing his comics right now because I haven't really kept up with him in comics recently, but back when he was like first created, like the blue parts of his costume were mostly black, but like the outer edges were blue. So that's like kind of like what they're talking about. But he says the challenge of this though is actually getting material like that in the real world, and they will always try to figure out how to do that. So that's really dope. I hope they can figure that out someday because that would be a really super cool detail to see on the big screen. Moving on, we have some other suit changes which would have been final one in the movie. This one is a super Ditko inspired suit. I think this would have been fine. The only problem I have with it is the spider arms are too skinny or small. Other than that, it looks really good actually. Here are also some other designs. This one has a different back logo and the front logo is different. It seems more smaller and compact. Everything else seems pretty much to be the same thing. Now here's some interesting designs we have for possible lenses they were thinking of, and we got 5 options. The first one, I'm pretty sure that's what they went with, and it looks good. It's classic, not much to say I feel like. The second one, this is definitely Raimi inspired with like the straight edge at the bottom part of the lens. I don't think that fits this costume, to be honest. I feel like Raimi's costume is very just like like situational, like one of one, if that makes sense. Next one, this one, ugly. Why would you make it black? I don't know, like that's just stupid. Moving on, this one is not bad but could be a tiny bit smaller. I think this gives me what was it, Todd McFarlane Spider-Man vibes. I'm pretty sure that's the Spider-Man artist who drew the eyes very similar to this. Hold on, let me look it up real quick because I actually feel like it this time. Yeah, I was right. Todd McFarlane. Yeah, he's the one that drew like Spider-Man lenses like that. I wouldn't mind this. I think like it would just need to be kind of streamlined a little bit in live action. Now onto the last set of lenses. I like this one minus the kind of dramatic curve at the top. Actually, one more thing, they could have made the lens shorter vertically a little bit, but this one's pretty cool. This is kind of funny. They designed a fucking spider fanny pack, bro. Like what? And like this would have went assumingly, you know, like with his Iron Spider suit, because like the design color or whatever. But like, bruh, so random. But like kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. Some more Iron Spider stuff. Here's more concept art. This would be for a belt for his Iron Spider suit, and you know, on the left there's him running while the costume forms around him. It's kind of cool. I think the first and third one would have been okay, but overall, to be honest, I don't really see the point of this because he usually has his utility belt for webbing and etc. inside of his costume, or at the very least, if it's going to be on the outside, it's very minimal design. And I wouldn't say any of these are like minimal design for like the outside of the costume, so I don't really see like why they were doing this. Speaking of minimal design, yes, here is the concept art for the Symbiote MCU costume, and it's pretty basic, again, minimal. That's kind of what the Symbiote suit is usually. It's literally like the No Way Home ending suit, but in black with a classic white spider Symbiote logo, and this is totally okay. Obviously, we can see there are like 3 different versions. The first one being like the logo is kind of harder to see. There seems to be like a texture or like some editing stuff or whatever on the logo. And then next we have a red one, and some people don't know what or why there's a red logo on that suit. And for those who don't know, before Marvel created Venom or the Symbiote, someone else, like not even affiliated with Marvel, I'm pretty sure, created the red logo black spider suit concept. That was like the original design pretty much before Marvel bought it off said artist for what was it, $200, maybe $300. So that's kind of just like props to the original like artist creating the original piece of concept art back like before the comics, like years ago. So that's pretty neat. I do wonder if they would actually use that at first, then transition to the white. That would be sort of interesting because that's something, from my knowledge at least, we've never seen in Symbiote stories. Again, from my knowledge, there's never been like a red and then white logo on the Symbiote Venom suit. Then moving on to the last one, this one looks more clear. There's no texture or discoloration on the logo, but there is a clear difference that you may have been able to spot from the first version of this concept art all the way on the left. But this third one specifically seemingly takes inspiration from Insomniac's Symbiote suit in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and I would say it's really not too far-fetched to assume that for a couple reasons. One, because I believe Marvel Spider-Man 2 has been worked on since after Spider-Man 1 came out. Obviously, you know, they were working on Miles Morales, and they had, I'm pretty sure, a Ratchet and Clank game came out too. I don't really keep up with their other games, but you know, they had Miles Morales come out, they had another AAA title of theirs come out, and they're working on Wolverine, they're working on all this other stuff, and as well, you know, took vacations. But nonetheless, it was in the works on the back burner, you know what I mean, after Spider-Man 1 came out. And No Way Home did come out in 2021, which is the same year the teaser trailer came out for Spider-Man 2. And with that, the second reason is because, as you can see, it looks armory like Insomniac Symbiote design. You can see there's lines on the costume, and I have to say, this better not be a trend with Symbiote suits. Like, for those of you who don't know, I think later this month, $20.99 Symbiote suit is coming in the comics soon, hopefully. That suit comes out great, but that's going to be like really dope to see. But as far as like the symbiote and like armor look, I hope that doesn't become a trend or attempt to change the status quo of the symbiote in general. Usually it's made to look like cloth when it's not cloth, it's an alien. And I mean, it's fine to make it look alien goo or like a cloth, or well, it used to be fine to make it cloth. Now I think we need to start making it look more alien goo like the Venom movies or Insomniac's take, but the armor look is doing too much. Just give it the texture of an avocado, call it a day, or make it look something alien looking. Enough with this armor line shit, okay? Please, thank you. Or now that I think about it, I will say maybe it's because the original concept for it being adapted into Secret Wars was apparently Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, was supposed to give this suit to Peter, and it was actually supposed to be armor, so maybe that's why this is becoming a thing, but I think it's a bad idea. But yeah, enough of me ranting about armor symbiote looking suits. This MCU symbiote suit design is perfect. It just needs some alien sauce dripped on the design, you feel me, and it will look good. get rid of the lines and all that extra shit. Now, classic Lizard design. Yes, we did get this as well, and I gotta say, they should have made up some shit saying that Lizard got a makeover too, because it's the same thing they did with Jamie Foxx's Electro, which we'll get into that in a minute because there is concept art on that. But Lizard, man, I think they should have given him the more comic accurate look, because it would have been better established, like, hey, multiverse, right? And they could have had it be like a dynamic of, oh, Andrew remembers fighting Lizard, but he never looked like that, and Lizard could have maybe still have talked and said something to make Andrew realize, oh shit, so like I have fought this guy, but not this specific guy, if that makes sense, sort of. Because Lizard remembers Andrew, but Andrew wouldn't have remembered this Lizard. I think that could have been an interesting kind of dynamic or concept, but maybe Dr. Connors could have looked the same as well too, so it would kind of trip him out even more, and maybe it could have been confusing to the audience, but I don't think so, considering we literally had 3 different Spider-Men from 3 different universes on screen at the same time, you know? But yeah, he got the lab coat, the more lizard reptilian head shape rather than the human hybrid head shape. Great design, should have used it, but you know, oh well. Hopefully this will be like MCU Lizard design or something like that, but you know, we'll see. This next one's funny. This became a meme actually. This is like comic accurate Doc Ock design, smiling while pouring up. I like this. This is funny. Great design. The arms look Raimi style sort of, so that would have been cool, but it is what it is. I don't really mind them not changing Alfred Molina's design crazy. I imagine most people would have been upset, like let's be real, but who knows. Then we got this, and we're not even gonna get into too much into this because what the fuck, bro. But I will say the arms kind of look cool, and as well like the older look with like, you know, the long hair and facial hair. That's fine. Everything else I don't really like. The green parts, the black, the entire bodysuit I don't like. Then next, I guess they were experimenting with different pumpkin bombs. I mean, I don't know why, but I guess, I mean, maybe some of these like alternate looks for iconic things or characters could be used later in the movies in the MCU, because the symbiote, that's not until Secret Wars likely, so I don't know, but you know, we'll see. Speaking of Goblin, here's concept art of him blowing up Aunt May's apartment. This would have looked like a cooler scene, so I feel like this scene or whatever, and then into like the entire fight scene through the floors would have been interesting. Actually, no, scratch that. Matter of fact, maybe this scene, then an aerial fight, because we haven't had an aerial fight with Goblin and Spider-Man yet. Never mind, besides Spider-Man 3, but that was years ago, and we want a new one, right? But I think, yeah, this scene into an aerial Green Goblin fight, then Peter saving Aunt May, then the floor fight scene, that would have been super cool, I think. Then next up, we got a few concept designs for Goblin, and you know, of course they did end up using like the iconic 2002 original movie suit, but you know, they also as well did go with a different design at the end of the movie, or like the middle to the end of the movie. But here's the first concept. This is pretty much his same suit but different mask, and I mean, I don't really know how I feel about it. Like it kind of just looks weird, to be honest. Then the next one, and Jesus Christ, this is what it would look like if Batman became Green Goblin. I swear to God. I think at least, like, I don't know, like, is it just me? Like, I kind of dig it, kind of don't, to be honest. And then, oh god, this is gonna trigger someone. Be warned. But we see Green Goblin in Tony Stark Iron Man armor, and I don't know what mark that is specific. Actually, no, I think that's mark 6 because of the triangle, right? I don't know, I could be wrong on that. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But you know, this would have been crazy. And then they have the nerve, right, to make one purple. Like, no, bro, get that shit out of here. Thank God they didn't do that shit. After that, this is crazy concept art of Ned on a goblin glider about to throw a pumpkin bomb. I'm really glad they didn't do this. I hope they don't make him Hobgoblin in the future, but you know, we'll see, I guess. I would prefer a different actor or someone else to play Hobgoblin, and it doesn't even have to be Ned Leeds. I don't really care about that too much. Or maybe it could be like a doppelganger of some sort. Maybe there's like a second Ned Leeds in the MCU. I don't know. It doesn't really matter how they do it. I just prefer not this actor to play him. While we're on the topic of weird ideas, Electro, this is one of the designs they considered. So seemingly they considered keeping a TASM 2 looking design. It's good they didn't commit to that because, I don't know, in my opinion, Blue Electro just looks weird. And I know it's an Ultimate Universe thing. That's how, you know, Ultimate Electro looks. But I don't know. Ultimate Electro design sucks. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. You know, you can have yours in the comments. Onto better designs, we have Sandman, and the top is more what we got in No Way Home. The bottom is actually more comic accurate with, like, you know, the spike ball and like the overall design of how Sandman typically looks in comics. This is good. Hopefully this will be MCU Sandman in the future or something. Now this next one is very interesting because people apparently think, you know, Spider-Man PS4 was almost in No Way Home, and to be honest, like they couldn't be more wrong. But you know, so here it is. This is the concept art of Spider-Man PS4 looking at where the final battle took place, the Statue of Liberty. The thing about this is like they purely literally just wanted to see what Spider-Man PS4 costume looked like in the universe. This wasn't any story purpose or anything along those lines, but yeah, kind of random, kind of cool though. The MCU has been inspired by Spider-Man PS4 since it gained popularity, so kind of makes sense. Wrapping up, we have some cool concept arts of all three Spideys in their suits next to each other. This was purely, you know, just to see how they'll look next to each other, and they look great. Not too much to explain here. Lastly, or last couple things, we get to this photo, and as you can see, that is Doctor Strange opening a portal, and this basically would have been, instead of MJ and Ned finding other spider people, it would have been Doctor Strange bringing other Spider-Man from other universes to help Tom defeat the 5 villains. Here's another one. This is like rough concept art. Toby on the left, Andrew on the right. I do wonder how they would have tied that story together, because why would Strange do that when he was saying the multiverse is fragile and etc., which now thinking about it is probably why they didn't go that route, but you know, who knows. With that, what do you think of the concept art from No Way Home, the book? There's probably some I missed, but you know, I tried to gather the most relevant, interesting things to go over. Make sure to comment your opinion down below so I can discuss all of that with you in the comment section. Thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. If you are new to the channel, I try my best to cover Spider-Man related scoops, rumors, leaks, confirmations for the games, movies, TV shows, and I try to upload as much as I can. So if any of that interests you, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4,000 subscribers. If you want more of this type of content, leave a like on the video. Don't forget to check out my latest video on the left if you haven't already. Hope you ever had a good day and that you enjoyed the video. Until next time. So the concept art book for No Way Home dropped like a week ago or